Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is the 10th of April, 2025, and I am blessed that the good Lord gave me the wake-up call today, and I got to see another day. Right now, the time is 4:19 a.m., and sunrise time is 7:14 a.m. The Google weather report says that it's going to be sunny all day in southern Texas, and they're calling for a high temperature of 89 degrees. That's 3 degrees warmer high temperature than yesterday, which yesterday was fantastic. A light breeze all day, sunny skies, and just super weather. There was a bit more clouds in the sky yesterday than the day before. Tuesday, I think I mentioned in the video, there wasn't a single cloud in the sky down here in southern Texas all day Tuesday. It was, like I said, it was a bit cloudier yesterday, but just a fantastic day all around, and I'm expecting that again today. Aside from relying on Google, I also listen to the radio. 710, the AM station down here, I think is the only one that you can get really well that speaks English. All the other ones are Spanish-speaking stations, music and news and sports. There's a Spanish sports station down here that talks about soccer. But anyway, I listen to 710 for the most part. I don't like FM stations too well. I like to keep up with news and current events, and that AM stations are pretty much good for that. But like I said, I keep track of the weather also, and what the weather is going to be the following day on that 710 on the dial, 7:10 a.m. I did check my customer service scores on the Uber Eats app when I woke up this morning. I looked at it last night, but I didn't drill in it too far because I was wrapped up in some YouTube videos I was watching. But I wrote it down, my scores down this morning. My delivery with care is up to 254. That's an increase of 5 points from 2 days ago. I tracked it Tuesday, after Tuesday was through. And then my quick and efficient went up to 220. That's a 4-point increase. My friendliness went up 2 points to 215. My perfect handoff went up 4 points to 203. And my communication went up 5 points to 182. So I'm still showing a 98% customer satisfaction overall. I have no way of knowing when one or both of those will drop off, unfortunately. I would like to see what people write about me. I don't know if that's even an option. I've never had the Uber Eats customer app on my phone, so I don't know how that all works. Last week, I had mentioned to a customer, I said, hey, I'd appreciate it if you would rate me in the app, and if I did a good job, give me a thumbs up. And she didn't seem to know what that was all about. I think she never had given a driver a rating before. So she actually held out her phone. She said, can you show me? I said, well, I can't do it for you, but I can show you where the thumbs up and thumbs down is. I had never seen it before, but I could tell by looking on her phone how to do it. I could actually see her hit the thumbs up for me, so I know she gave me a thumbs up. And I had a good interaction with a customer as a result of that, mate. And then in the future, that might help other drivers that end up getting her. I had several good deliveries yesterday. My best paying trip was a double to no, it was a single. It was a Walgreens single. Paid $12.67. And I did that thing I had suggested. I got an idea to do from a DoorDash driver where you take a picture of the customer's order while you're still in the store and say, hey, I'm on my way to you with this order, Walgreens or Chick-fil-A or Burger King, whatever it is. I did that with 4 different customers yesterday. I have no way of really knowing the impact that's going to have on my customer service score, but as I don't see the harm in it, as long as it's not taking me really any extra time. It takes less than a minute to do that. And a lot of times I'm still getting situated to leave the store, get my stuff together and make sure I have everything. So it's really not taking me any extra time if I pick and choose which orders I do it with. Yesterday, I did that with the Fork to Fit, the Walgreens order, Starbucks, and a Big Daddy Burgers order. It's going to be particularly important that I do this going forward with certain orders. It occurred to me with that Walgreens order. The lady had 4 or 5 packs of diapers. And, this isn't a bad area for stealing, but if I was back in Vegas, people are really bad porch pirates out there, and they'll run up behind you and steal stuff once you've drove off. That area has a high potential for that. There's a lot of thieves out in Las Vegas. And at least by me taking a picture of it in the store and then at the customer's house, that demonstrates that I was mindful of her order, and I did the best I could to get it to her house, and I followed all her instructions. As long as I do that and follow through with everything the customer asked, I did my part. So anything like higher priced items, I'm going to make sure I do that. Also, something else occurred to me. I'm making contact with the customer with this picture outside the app. There's no way to send that picture to the customer, as far as I know, until the end of the order. So what I do is I attempt to call the customer, and then I hang up real quick, and then I use that attempted call to then send a text message to the customer, and then I say, hey, this is Charles with Uber Eats. This is your Walgreens order, or whatever it is. I'm heading your way right now with it, or something to that effect. And then I always have to make sure that I identify myself in the call, because I believe on their end, all they're seeing is a phone number. They're not seeing it's coming from Uber Eats. At least that's my understanding of how the app works. I don't know. I may be totally off about that. It might still say Uber Eats, Charles, this is your driver contacting you from Uber Eats. I don't know. I don't know much about that side of the app, like I said. But I did make my money goal yesterday. So today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just need to make $200 roughly to make my goal for the week, and that'll be a piece of cake, because Sunday, on a good Sunday down here, I have no trouble making well over $100. So I've got an easy 4 days ahead of me and beautiful weather. Well, that Starbucks order was my last order of the day, and unfortunately it didn't get me any closer to the plasma donation center and the buffet that I go to break my fast. So I just had to drive. It wasn't too far. It was probably about 4 or 5 miles, which isn't bad at all, but I prefer to be much closer. I don't like to drive without having an order, taking me closer to where I'm ended up, or heading back to the house, at the end of the day, wherever I need to be. But I got back to the plasma center and did the whole screening thing. You have to answer like 27 or 28 questions about your health, how you're feeling today. Did anybody change? Did anybody move out of your household? Did the address change where you're living since you last donated plasma? Are you running a fever today? Have you had a tattoo touched up? And all these things. Are you, have you reviewed the risk profile posters in the app and all this stuff? Well, I answered all them questions with that phone they provide. I could put the Griffles app on my phone and answer all these questions, but I don't want to have my phone bogged down with all these apps. It causes my Uber Eats app to run slow, and look, because my phone runs out of memory. So I just use their phone. I have to give them my driver's license, and then they trade me that phone for the driver's license. And then when I give them back their phone, they give me my license back. So I did all that. Then you go into this little room, and they test your blood for iron, test your blood for protein. They check your weight, your blood pressure, your pulse, and your temperature. and they check your arms. They check the creases of your arms and your elbows for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. But all that went through fine. The last time, I think it was the second to last time, 2 times ago, my iron was getting a little low, and that concerned me. And I had mentioned I was going to make sure I increased my iron intake at the buffet with more broccoli and watermelon and string beans. String beans aren't all that high in iron compared to broccoli. Broccoli is the best thing at this buffet for iron, and then watermelon is the next best thing. So I've been making sure I eat plenty of watermelon and broccoli, which I love both those things. I love string beans, watermelon. I pretty much love everything there that they have, except for the beef. It's too tough to chew for me. My blood pressure, I wrote down my readings, except I didn't write down my iron and my protein score. Sometimes they give me those numbers, but most times they don't. They just say I'm in a good level. I asked her how my iron looked, because I said my last time I was here, my iron was almost too low. She said, your iron's fine. It's right on point and everything's good. My blood pressure was 114/72, so that's good. My resting heart rate was 71 yesterday. Normally it's below 60, so in my judgment that's high, but she said that's perfectly fine. Resting heart rate is 71. And like I said, my protein and iron was good. And after they pricked, they did the plasma donation, I always check my arm out that night and this morning, and there's no bruising, so I'll have no issue tomorrow using this same arm for my plasma donation. I'm going back there tomorrow. I do plasma donations on Wednesdays and Fridays at this place, assuming there's no bruising in my right arm, and my left arm is fine. I was happy to see when I got back to where they draw the plasma out, that guy with the big bushy beard was there. He's my favorite one to draw plasma. I've never had issues with him, and he's got a good bedside manner, if that's how you put it for these people. I know that's something you say about doctors, but he's a very nice guy, and he puts everybody at ease. And I'm not the only one that likes him there. They have 3 more or less bays, 3 areas where all the beds are, where you lay down, and there's 3 workers, one for each bay. And his section this time was on the far right, and it was full, compared to the other 2. And I didn't know it at the time, but I had other people were going to be coming in and asking for him. I came in, and when you come in and sit down in that area, you have to wait on a minute or 2 for somebody to come up to take your name and your last 4 digits of your donor number. And this lady came up and did that, and she was going to take me to the far left side. I said, hey, I would rather have that guy. I don't know his name. They've told me his name, but I forgot it. I think it starts with an M. And I said, I want that dude over there to draw my plasma. And she took me over there. They never give you a hard time with having them draw the guy that you want to draw it. And she went over there and took me to him. And sure enough, I'm sitting there. He had hooked me up, and I was donating plasma. I was there about 20 minutes, and another person came in, asked for him. I overheard them coming. They pointed to him, and they directed him over there, and he drew plasma. Then about the time I was finishing up with my plasma donation, I was at the stage in the plasma donation where they're feeding you with, filling you back up with some of the blood that they took out, because they separate the plasma from the blood. I was in that stage, which is towards the end. Another person came in, so 3 people asked for him just while I was there, so I'm not the only one that prefers him to donate the plasma to. Well, after my plasma donation, I was ready to eat. I wasn't famished, but I was certainly hungry, and I had an appetite to eat, so I headed over to the buffet. And the 2 normal waitresses there that I've always seen there weren't there today. Normally I see one or the other, or usually both, but today was both of their days off, and I had to I didn't sit at my normal area as a result of that. Usually when I come in there, I head back to the bathroom to wash my hands before I eat. And by the time I get back out, that one that I'm used to already has my 2 glasses of water sitting at the table I always sit at. But this time I ended up sitting in an entirely different section. I was going to sit at my normal table, but that row was completely full except for one table. And the table that was free was all bunched up with people on the other tables from either side, if that makes sense. They were kind of large people, and I would have had to squeeze into the table on either side, depending on what side of the table I sat at. So I just sat in an entirely different section, which I don't like. I prefer to sit in that particular row. It's a straight shot to the register, and the space between the tables on either side are wider, and I can get in and out of there easy. But nonetheless, I had to sit in a different section. I had no choice, I suppose. But I had a great meal. I loaded up on rice, scalloped potatoes, string beans, broccoli, the chicken that comes with the broccoli. I normally try to not pick out all the broccoli from that pan because it's a broccoli and chicken pan, and I think it would be rude to just pick out all the broccoli and leave the chicken behind. So I always make sure I take some chicken from that pan. So I got some protein there, and I got some protein from the skewers of chicken. I intended on eating 3 or 4 of the skewers of chicken, but I only ended up with 1. I got full. That was my second or third plate by the time I got to that part of the buffet. And then I had, they didn't have oysters. I wanted to get oysters, but I keep forgetting that's the evening part of the meal. You don't get that until after 4, and I've been going there earlier in the day. I had their coconut chicken. I had 2 or 3 slices of pizza, 1 slice of Texas toast. I had lo mein. I had about 2 or 3 cups of breaded chicken. I had golden fish, fried chicken, or fried shrimp, regular shrimp. I don't like the fried shrimp as well. I rather have the regular shrimp that has the peas and carrots mixed in with it. That pan is my favorite. Altogether, with not counting the fruit bar, the fruit and dessert bar, I had 3 full heaping plates of food. And then I had 2 heaping plates of fruit, where I had watermelon, mango, which was a surprise, and they didn't have banana yesterday on their bar. Every time I've been there before, they've always had banana on their fruit and dessert bar, but for whatever reason they replaced it with mango, and that was a great thing. I love mango. The last time I had mango was in Las Vegas at that restaurant or grocery store. They had it on their deli counter. They had a pre-packaged mango, and I didn't care for it. It didn't even taste like anything. It was bland. But boy, this mango they had at the buffet yesterday was so sweet as candy. I would rather have that over the bananas, if I'm being honest. Mango, I looked into mango. It's high in fiber, just as high in fiber as bananas are, but it's not a good source of iron. Neither is banana. Right now, I'm on an iron kick. I'm looking to get as much iron into my diet as I can to make sure I'm keeping that on track, because I don't want to get that so low I'm not able to donate plasma. But I can rely on broccoli and watermelon being at this buffet every time. I don't think they'll ever stop serving that there. I wanted to boost up my calorie intake. Like I said, I got fuller faster for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, than I did on Monday, but I did eat several pieces of cake, which I normally don't eat cake there. They have these little light, airy chocolate and sometimes strawberry pieces of cake. There's hardly anything there, but I'm assuming it's about 100 calories per square. I don't have any idea. It might be more, it might be a little bit less, but I ate about 5 or 6 of those, so I probably had about 500 calories just in cake there. And then I had a big heaping bowl of ice cream, I'm assuming was about 500 calories. So I think I did the best I could, considering I was full by the time I got to the dessert bar. And I ate as much as I could there. I'm trying to get as many calories in as I can. going into this weekend, because I'm going to be doing another 72-hour fast from Friday at 2 until Monday at 2. And I want to fuel up as much as I can. Yesterday and tomorrow is going to be my last feeding day before that. And I want to make sure I'm hydrated going into the weekend, because I tend to, for whatever reason, drink less water over the weekend too. So I'm kind of doing a quasi dry fast along with this. So that'll also promote some weight loss. But I don't want to lose so much weight that I'm down as lean as I was last weekend. I was almost 134. I think I was 135.2 or something like that. I don't want to get down that low again this weekend. That's my goal. Well, anyway, my plans for today is to deliver from about 7 a.m. to 3 in the afternoon. And then I'm going to head back to the house and put some stuff away and check the mail. And then I'm going to walk. I'm going to do another 5-mile walk today. And after completing that, that'll have me at 85 miles for the year of my 1,000-mile goal, which I'm most likely not going to make. At least at the rate I'm walking right now, I'm not going to hit 1,000 miles for sure. Probably more like 700 or 800 at the most, unless something changes with my walking routine. Because right now I'm just hitting about 10 miles. Well, I'm hitting exactly 10 miles a week, and I'm well off my goal. But mostly I fell off track mostly because of my job up in Oklahoma City, which I was getting plenty of exercise there, but I track all my steps. I only count steps that I get towards that 1,000-mile goal that are tracked through the Map My Walk app. So I'm certainly getting more steps into my day that I'm just not tracking, but those, I'm not counting all that. I was never counting any of the steps I took at the warehouse or exercise I got there. Extra steps from everybody's house to my car and to the restaurant back. I don't count all that. I only count intentionally tracked steps. So maybe next year I'll have a more realistic goal for my steps and my walking that also allows me to incorporate other things I'm trying to do with my diet and exercise. And I won't feel so bad. I have a lot of regret about setting that goal for myself and then not hitting it. So, but it is what it is, like they say. Well, that's about it for me. I want to wish you all a great day, and I hope you're having a great week. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.